they care more about being famous than anything.
We talked about the HBO executives who had gone out of their way to make these fake accounts to troll and harass people who were critical of their shows. Well, for the third time this week, Gina Carano has come out and slapped the shit out of the internet with just cold, hard common sense and facts.
Do you think this behavior of creating bots was exclusive to HBO Max, or that maybe other major studios do this as well? In 2016, Bob Iger said Disney was basically inches away from buying Twitter but pulled out of the deal at the last minute, saying that he did a little more research and said this about Twitter users. We, at that point, estimated with some of Twitter's help that a substantial portion, not a majority, were not real. What do you think that substantial portion of fake users grew to from 2016 to before Elon Musk took over X, Twitter, in 2022? How big did the bot armies get? Who were the bot armies created by, and to do what?
I think all those are great questions to ask, right? And natural questions to ask, because when Elon came in and he took over Twitter, that's what he said. He's like, all this is bullshit. Like the number of accounts that they say they had, they're fake. They're not even real. These aren't real people, which is why he's gone on this crusade to test out things like charging people to use the platform, charging people $1 a year or whatever it is, just to create accounts, because there's so much fraud. I think that's the thing here. It's not fake accounts. They're fraud accounts. These are straight up lying accounts to push a narrative, whatever narrative that may be.
Yeah. That movie, like that Disney Turning Red movie, for example, the amount of likes and retweets and oh my goodness, this is just like talking like 100,000 likes on this post about that Turning Red movie that ended up flopping colossally. And it's just like, really, are that many people that excited about the movie for it to have done that bad? I just don't. I feel like a lot of bots, interacted with those tweets.
Oh yeah, the answer was obviously no. Nobody was excited for Turning Red.
Yep.
Why buy Twitter and deal with that headache when you can create armies of bots and control the narrative for much, much less money and energy? It does your promoting for you without making it look like you are promoting yourself. Look, it's popular in all these accounts, strangely liked by a bunch of accounts with no names. It must be good.
Right.
But what if it was used for something much more sinister? These damn critical YouTubers have too many followers, they are gaining traction, let's censor them, on top of signing in the fake bot armies, just enough to get the yes men and useful idiots on board and rolling. Now, if you remember last week when she said yes men, it was to somebody attacking her.
Right.
That leads to firing a person who thinks differently because they can't control their voice. Need a reason to fire her? Get this hashtag trending. Say she said something anti-Semitic when she isn't at all. Twist her words, and hey, as long as it's in the headlines, no one will ask any questions. It must be true.
That's obviously built around her personal experience. She's using herself in as example here. And I'll say this, look, Gina's been firing fastballs this past week, really just pointing out things that I said this the other day. She's very articulate in how she delivers her message. She delivers it in a very plain and simple way that I think most people, if you don't have your head too far up your ass, can understand. And that's what she does very, very well. These tweets are crafted wonderfully. Why would you buy the store when you can just go to the store and have the store give you whatever products you want, right? Like that may be like the smartest thing that Disney's done over the past few years, is being able to control that narrative for considerably less money without actually having to own the platform.
I actually told them in an email and over the phone about these bot armies and how they start the negative narrative, and then the young kids would join in, not realizing they're being manipulated. And then websites and small news jump on board to be cool with the kids, and before you know it, you're trending and Hollywood media devours it. I told them I believed that it was happening to me. A manipulated mob being used every day to spread propaganda to protect the most corrupt. They didn't need to buy Twitter, they just need to buy the narrative. Why does everyone just laugh off the fact that when the suits do something wrong, it's, oh, how silly of those little harmless suits, instead of the suits being forced to grovel and correct the wrong they do, just like they demand so many others to? It's not like they don't know how to apologize. They wrote the playbook on fake apologies. They've literally destroyed careers and livelihoods and get sympathy pieces written on them, while those whose lives got destroyed for just having an opinion that was before its time or made a mistake and hurt feelings get destroyed.
She nails it here. The idea of like, why are we just like, oh, it's okay, right? There's been this pushback in the last, decade or so, specifically like with the Me Too movement, where you see they say enough with, oh, boys will be boys, right? And okay, if that's the way it's going to be, carry it over to everything. Oh, these executives, they're just being executives. No, no, no. We're going to have fucking accountability. Let's have
Yep.
accountability. Like, these people should be held accountable for going out of their way to literally crush people who don't agree with them. Like, that's really fucked up.
Yep.
And I mean, what's the answer? I don't think there's anything legally you can do, but it
Mhm.
always goes back to, you vote with your wallet.
Exactly. And I feel like with Gina specifically, a lot of this stuff has been bottled up for a long time, and she found her outlet and opportunity to get a lot of that out. That's why, like, back to back to back, we have just seen these mic drop moments. I think Gina is just like had enough, and she is not afraid of the mob. She is speaking out and doing an amazing job at that.
This action of bot armies is actually a much bigger offense than people are realizing. How many lives were ruined because of Twitter bots canceling them? In defamation lawsuits, you need to have evidence of intent to do harm. Defamation lawsuits are very tricky, especially when you're going up against someone with endless amounts of cash. I would say sending in bot armies to go after people they don't agree with more than qualifies as intent to harm, and I believe a jury would agree. Could get very interesting if ex or current employees came forward with more evidence. Aren't you all sick of the abuse of power? You could sell your soul and still not end up in the 1% of this benefits, and who wants to be in the 1% anyway when it means betraying humanity and selling your soul? Don't pass this social credit score BS onto the next generation. Artists throughout history are at their best when they're not in lockstep. It's what we love about them. Independent creators, get busy and don't be compromised once you climb to the top. Artists at the top, take your leashes off.
Brilliant stuff, man. Aren't you
Mhm.
all sick of this abuse of power? You could sell
Yeah.
your she's saying you could sell your soul and still not end up with the benefits, right? You're
Yep.
what are you willing to compromise for? And yeah,
Mhm.
everybody's got a price, right?
Yep.
Everybody's got a price. And what you're finding is that people have a very low price. Some
Yep.
people are willing to do it for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, and this is why I think with the entertainment industry at large, you do have so many narcissists within it, because they care more about being famous than anything. It's like, it doesn't matter how they're famous, as long as they are famous. That is their goal. That is their purpose in life, is to just be famous and everybody look at me, look at me. And so they're so obsessed with that they will take any chance they get. They will sell their soul for the cheapest price imaginable. It doesn't even matter for even 5 seconds in that spotlight. And so, yeah, I mean, this is why the industry is so overrun with these narcissistic types.
You nailed it there, as far as the idea that people just, especially in this culture,
Hmm.
people are begging. They will do anything for
Yep.
just a glimpse of the spotlight. That's what this society has gotten us. This idea of always on with your TikTok, always want to show off your best life with your Instagram,
Yep.
because you just want those likes. Imagine taking those likes and going from 3 or 4 likes on a post to
Hmm.
400 likes. Whoa, that
Yep.
many people like what I have going on. It's that dopamine hit, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
trickled down from social media to
Yep.
real life, and it's really, really causing destruction.
Man, I'm seeing some of this stuff like on Twitter as well. People are making tweets. There's this account called like women posting their L's, for example, or women L's or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
this account has like always knocked like the whole OnlyFans stuff and things like that, which I think was pretty based of them to be like, okay, yeah. Well, then they were offered like $50 to post this OnlyFans girl that would further promote her OnlyFans, and they took it. It's like, you're going to all of your integrity, everything that you've been posting about and being against pushing this kind of stuff, and you're going to do promo for this girl for $50.
Yeah.
Right,
I
right.
actually have some more digging. So, are you guys familiar with Master of TDS?
Oh, I think
account.
so. Yeah.
So I had to actually go on to my own account for this because it's like locked on our Side Scrolls account. Like we have to be over the age of 18 to view it, which I think is crazy. But
Oh,
check
weird.
this out. It says Disney can never use bots like HBO did, guys. All these people defending the live-action Little Mermaid movie, saying similar things are all using GIFs and are all totally 100% real. And look at it. He compiled all these things, all these bots for the Little Mermaid, which is basically what Gina Carano was just talking about. Look at that.
Wait, so these are bots that are making quote tweets about
The Little Mermaid, saying how amazing the Little Mermaid is.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? And yet for some reason his posts are being censored to like over the age of 18 or something.
Wow.
Because the overlords, I guess, aren't liking the fact that he just exposed this stuff.
That's one reason why I don't like to, especially lately these days, it's like I'm not going to put too much energy into arguing with people on Twitter because there's a huge chance you're talking to a bot.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the crazy thing is with AI and the bot farms that you have out there, the idea of controlling the narrative. Once again, think about all the things that are being pushed. Think about the giant, vast notion of information out there that is being thrown your way through different look, it could be whatever you want it to be, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's the Little Mermaid, whether it's an injection that needs to be made on an annual basis, whether it's the way you feel about a current candidate for president, whether it can be literally anything. If you don't think that Disney is the only people doing this, if you think HBO is the only people doing this, if you don't think our government is doing this, and not just our government, but every government around the world is doing this, I don't know what to tell you, but take off your fucking blinders because this is information warfare. They see it as marketing. It's literally warfare. Speaking of Gina Carano, there is a girl who tweeted, her name is Sawyer.
Yeah, I actually have some background info on this woman. She's been pissing me off since 2020, actually.
Okay.
Right, so you guys are familiar with Star Wars Theory, I'm assuming? Yeah, you know of him. One of the really biggest Star Wars YouTubers.
A little bit.
Over 3 million subs. I used to watch him back in the day. And this one time, he had a couple of like random Star Wars fans come on his show. And they were just talking about it. And this one kid, I don't know, he was like in college or high school, really, really young, was basically straight up telling Theory that he should censor the way he's talking about the sequels because he didn't like the sequels. And, it was offending other people.
Oh.
And this girl was just nodding along to him the entire time, saying, "Yes, you should censor yourself. Yes, you should." And like Theory went off on this guy. This is like one of the few live streams I actually watched live, and I was like, "Wow," because like he ruined this guy. But this is the same girl, and if you even stalk her account, which I did, first of all, she says choose kindness in her bio, but she's very much not about that. She's just shredding it, and she's very authoritarian and basically saying us versus them style, like. My God, and she's only like 23, so you're like, the future, yay. This is her account right here, so obviously, choose kindness, very fun. But then she went and said this instead the other day. Just to be clear, if you support Gina Carano's embarrassing behavior and alt-right Looney Tunes sermons, you're not welcome in our Star Wars community. So she's telling who is and who isn't welcome in a massive billion-dollar corporation. This woman.
Gosh.
Pink hair.
It's her community. She gets to choose.
And so she got absolutely shredded by literally everyone we know.
Be kind. Be kind.
Yeah. Hate has no home here. It has no home in the fandom either.
Wow. Well, don't you think telling people that they can't be in the community because they didn't like the same exact movies you liked is not being inclusive?
Yeah, so she and then like she even is all about like making characters gay too, like Grand Moff Tarkin is gay now, and she's like, oh my God, for Pride Month he fell in love with Stormtrooper and it was all great until they blew up because they're on a Death Star, and you're like, oh my God. So yeah, this is the trolls that are hating Gina Carano. Thanks, Sawyer.
Goodness.
No doubt. As you scroll down, pronouns in her body.
Yeah.
So she pretty much got bodied by everybody for her being as inclusive as she is. Once again, this is This is always how it is. Every time. She's so inclusive while being extremely exclusive.
Yep.
Being just a horrible human being,
Right,
to be
right.
honest.
Yep, that's always how it goes. It's like be kind means agree with every single thing I agree with, or you're not kind.
She says Star Wars fans who are not racist, transphobe, and or people who belittle others for advocate for diversity and inclusion. Where you at? This is the Soya girl. And then she's all like, my name is Soya, she, her.
Right.
I'm a
Oh,
Star
wow.
Wars content creator, and if you and I love all fans, but apparently not all fans because you just said no.
Yep.
I
like most people.
look. I'm gonna be very honest with this wee lass here. You're 23 years old and you don't know shit,
Yep.
right? You think you know everything, but you know nothing. And while you think you're advocating for a great cause, it's ultimately going to bite you in the ass in the worst way possible. And you're going to be worse for it, right? In theory, all the things that she's saying, listen, diversity and these are all like things that should happen, right? But you don't need to get out your pitchforks and burn things down for it to happen.
Right.
It's crazy. And that's, I guarantee she is the product of some sort of college. She went to college and was
NYU, if I remember correctly. But it's
Oh,
scary
oh.
because it says aspiring PhD, and I'm like, oh, our
Oh
future.
no.
can aspire to get canceled one day by the same people that she advocates for. But what do you think about this? Leave us a comment down below. We read every single one of them. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button because you have found your home for common sense in the gaming and entertainment worlds.